Welcome everyone to our episode 88 of our section Drops of Wisdom. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the attention, how to enhance your attention. That's the title of our episode. We are going to discuss how can we enhance these systems that are steps, processes that our brain has to do in order to engage our attention, in order to have more um, blocks of time where we can focus our attention in one thing because that's the way our brain works, and how not to be distracted all the time with things that are mindless and they are just trashing your brain literally and making it shrink or making it more uh, predisposed to develop any of the diseases of the neurodegenerative diseases that we have nowadays. So that's all that we are going to discuss. We are going to discuss many of the regions that are engaged in this attention process. So stay tuned and pay attention, please, because I'm going to teach you really how your brain works when it is making these processes. The first thing that I'm going to ask you and that you should ask yourself is how intentional are you about what you allow to capture your attention? So the moment you engage with something, either a notification from your phone, either distractions all the time, that's how you derail your attention. Every sight, every sound, every touching with or interaction has the potential to pull your attention out of your focus. Our brains are wired to react to many of the sensory input, and nowadays we have an amazing amount of distractions of sensory input, and all of those distractions are going to be linked with past experiences and stored in your memory, but they don't really have a purpose. They are just going to occupy space. So that means that you will have less memory for the important things. If you are constantly distracted by news, by things that are just, let's say, process stimuli that are just empty of nurturing, empty of content, empty of knowledge, what you are going to do is to fill your brain with garbage. And your brain is going to be saturated with those kind of stimuli. So this is an automatic process and it shapes what catches your attention. So the more you distract yourself, the easier you will be derailed from any task that you want to accomplish. That's why the statistics that we have now for the attention span are completely ridiculous. Right now, we are the animal species or the mammal species with less attention. We have less attention than the goldfish. The span of attention is 3 seconds. In the best case scenario is 10 seconds. And those are the statistics for many, many people, for the vast majority. So why? Because whether it is an scent of a perfume or freshly baked bread, all of those stimuli will trigger your memory process and will take you to even childhood stages to remember something. A song that you hear sparks emotions and memories. So we are constantly distracted, scrolling in the platforms, in any of the platforms, and just mindlessly liking content without noticing even or discerning which are going to like drains your energy. So I'm going to give you 5 ideas as usual so that you can have your attention enhanced. The first one is, as you can see in the image, this is not studying. This is just playing to study because, of course, that a person that is constantly distracted with this stimuli and is trying to accomplish something is going to take 3 times more time and is going to drain uh, her brain, in this case, 3 times more by doing what she's doing in the image. So our attention is under threat in the digital age. Why? It is your most precious um, resource. The modern world is filled with these distractions from digital devices, as you can see, and all of the content in the media. All that information, all of those stimuli have drastically reduced our attention span and have taken the attention to the limits that I mentioned, 3 seconds, 10 seconds. The rapid, shallow consumption, superficial consumption of content, of stimuli, limits your ability to engage deeply with the information because you are not paying attention in what you are doing. So, what can you do? You can create a routine, a daily routine, and you can implement it slowly to involve yourself, to compromise yourself with uninterrupted focus work sessions. What I can recommend for you is that you start with 40 minutes of blocks of time, 40 minutes of focus attention. And this technique is called the Pomodoro technique. Probably you have read or listened about it. That's what this technique teaches you, to train your brain to be completely focused 40 minutes and then take a break of 5 or 10 minutes. This is a break not to check your social platforms. This is a break to breathe, to walk, to drink water, to go to the bathroom, to engage with a message that is urgent and is not going to take away your attention in the next block of time. And your brain is going to be trained to concentrate for longer periods. So you will be able to increase that 40 minutes to 45, to 50, to 55, to 1 hour. And that's the limit, more or less, of focus attention. Then take a break of 5 or 10 minutes and you can return to another block of time. Reduce the exposure to constant notifications. Put your phone in the do not disturb and allow yourself to be detached from the world. Unless you have an emergency, leave those notifications. But if not, do it. And believe me that it will help a lot. This reduction will allow you to minimize the multitasking and regain your focus and your energy that your brain needs to pay attention. And you will see why. This is the second idea. Attention is a multi-step cognitive learning process. So as you can see here, this is a very famous curve of the attention. The more aroused you are, and aroused means that you are distracted sometimes, the less performance you will have. So performance has a limit of, well, or has a maximum point, a reach peak point. Once you reach that point, it's going to go down. And that's why it is suggested those 40 minutes, 45, 50, 55, 1 hour maximum, because then your attention goes again down. But that means that if you take that break of 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you will re-engage your brain into a second block of time and you can sustain your attention for another 40, 45, 50 minutes again. And you will not get tired because you are having those breaks. And those breaks are, as I mentioned, to walk a little bit, to do a short meditation, to close your eyes, to be in silence a little bit, to drink water, to go to the bathroom, or to reply something urgent. And that's it. So, how is your brain working? Let's see. First, you engage your neocortex. What is the neocortex? The prefrontal region of your brain. So, when you engage your neocortex, what happens? What happens is that you are processing your sensory information, you are um, activating your executive planning and your control of motor functions or motor control functions. So once you do that, you are much better to discern what needs to be, what needs to, you need to pay attention to, and what you can filter out from your brain. Then, as you can see in these green areas, you engage your amygdala, but that region of the brain is going to be activated by fear, by anxiety, and is going to lead you to threats, or is going to make you alert, and you are going to release more adrenaline. That's why when you don't regulate accordingly your distractions, you allow yourself to be all the time under this threat state. And under that, your amygdala is going to drain and drain and drain energy, and it's not going to allow your brain to engage with the second level processes. Then at the same time, you activate your hippocampus, and that region relates to the memory and your navigation system. What does this mean? If they are at the same level, the amygdala and the hippocampus, but if you engage with distractions, if you are scrolling, if you are listening to music that is distracting you, what are you going to do? You are going to retrieve memories that are going to distract you even more, and you are going to be wandering and distracting your mind. So you don't pass to the second stage. Also, in that green region or green set of regions in your brain, you have the basal forebrain, and this is the first region that is going to start sending now chemicals, sending cholinergic projections and neurotransmitters, peptides, neuropeptides, that are going to start activating these blue regions. At the same time, these other three, neocortex, amygdala, and hippocampus, are going to allow the second level to start. What is the second level? The yellow blocks that appear in the image, which are the thalamus, which is the sensory gating. So this is your filter. This will allow to engage with the stimuli of your visual stimuli, hearing, tasting, anything that you are doing with your senses. And then you move on to the hypothalamus that regulates, that balances everything that arrives there. Once you do that, you get to the locus coeruleus, and that releases another neurochemical, which is noradrenaline or norepinephrine. And that is the signal to engage your brain, to make it more compromised, more focused. And that is like the activation signal to enter the flow, to enter the region of the flow, and that engage the brain stem. And here you have autonomic control. So you are not thinking in the other functions that your body needs to do, like processing food, like filtering things in your kidneys, like all of the things, breathing, etc. So this brain stem starts taking charge of the autonomic functions of your body and your brain. And then at the same time, many of those substances are going to activate a second cascade of sensory input and motor output. What does this mean? You have a second filter of these distractions, and then you engage with your skills. What does this mean? This means that you are either more engaged in the task and you enter this flow state, or you keep in this flow state, or you get out from the flow and you completely distract. So this is the step-by-step process of what happens with this multi-step learning process. What can you do to make it better? Engage in mindfulness exercises. Close your eyes for a little bit. Take a walk. Take deep breaths. Calm your mental distractions. Enhance your awareness with your surroundings. If you can, if you are in an office and you have a lot of noise or distractions, just use the headphones or any kind of thing that allows you to not distract with the sound of some chats or things that you have. Regular mental breaks, as I mentioned, 5 to 10 minutes every hour or every 40 minutes or whatever the range of blocks that you can do, will allow you to be much better and refresh your focus. So that will give it will push a reset button and you will start again. So, well, start not from the same place. You're going to sustain your attention. Number 3. So, what happens in the idea number 3? Well, the role of your brain is having rhythms. These rhythms of focus attention allow your brain to start engaging more regions. And if you are allowing to the flow of distractions to inundate your system, you are going to have non-conscious, non-attendant processing, which, as you can see here, is the first image of the brain, that it is in the light blue color. And as you can see here, this is the primitive region of the brain. If you just enhance, or if you just compromise or engage this region, what do you think that you are going to be doing? You are always alert. You are always reacting. You are always distracting. When you move in the scale and you reduce your attentions and you start engaging and allowing the process to continue, then you move into a transition zone where your brain is going to recruit other regions of the brain, as I mentioned in the multi-step process. And that's when you have the tunnel or the gate to enter into the flow of information and cognitive processing and learning and enhancing your memory and all of those things that happen when you really pay attention. You facilitate your attention and you allow the neurons to be engaged and maintain and balance and have a rhythm of communication. Plus, you are reducing more and more the incoming of visual distractions or auditory distractions, whatever it is that you are sensing in your system. So that's how you start acquiring more experience to enter this flow region. So brain rhythms move in waves, alpha, theta, and gamma oscillations. Those oscillations of the brain, those waves, help to manage how we focus, how we process, and how we remember information. They act as gating mechanisms that facilitate important neural processes while blocking distractions. The target or the best case scenario is that you arrive to this gamma frequency. When you get to those gamma, you are in the zone. and no one can distract you. You are inside of your own realm of consciousness, and you start doing the things and they flow, and you have a lot of creativity. You are engaged in emotions, and you are mindless about the distractions. What is a practical, or how can you acquire more expertise and skillfulness in all of those things? Integrate relaxation techniques such as meditating or yoga. And meditating and yoga doesn't mean that you go up on a hill and you cut your hair and you put whatever, a rope, that like the yogis. Doesn't mean that. It just means that you can just take a walk and relax your mind. That is all it means. Strengthen the alpha oscillations and optimize the brain rhythm and the balance, and reduce more stimuli until you start reaching higher and higher levels of brain waves. Meditation will help you to boost this alpha activity, leading you to more consistent focus. And believe me, it will increase a lot. And sometimes meditating is just closing your eyes and being in silence. And this is my favorite recommendation. The next one that you can see here is about exercise. Exercise is one of the best ways to uh, boost your attention, also to enhance physical activity, particularly aerobic exercise, although also the anaerobic helps a lot and connects mind and body, like practices like yoga, dancing, swimming, walking, improves attention by increasing reaction times. If you play any sport, you will have to engage your reflexes, and that will allow you to be also more attentive of distractions, reducing impulsivity, and will boost your cognitive function. And believe me, this I have tested from almost my entire life and my entire student life, as I am always being a student of many things. And your brain functions really start getting better with exercise. Why? Because you allow the blood flow to go to the brain, and you start enhancing these metabolic processes. You uh, improve your metabolic demands, and you allow the flow of neurotrophic factors. You start releasing endorphins, BDNF, GABA. Many of those neurotransmitters are going to start healing your brain, your hardware, and it will increase your brain health. And that will give you much better cognitive performance. In the other direction, or in the lower part of this diagram, you can see that also performance arts, which means that dancing, which means like playing an instrument, painting, also allows you to have this exercise and to engage your body with your brain, and that will give you also much better skill acquisition processes. It will allow motor and cognitive exercise complexity. That means that you will be much better to control your um, sensory systems, and you will start improving now the brain software, and that will affect the motivation, and of course it will keep you engaged with any exercise routine. That will increase brain health again, and that will increase cognitive performance again. So just incorporating 20 to 30 minutes of physical exercise every day into a daily routine, such as walking, such as cycling, such as swimming, dancing, all of those things will allow you to improve your attention, to increase the span of the attention, to have better mood, better memory, and will lead you to better cognitive performance. And finally, what what else you can do? The last idea is the attention strengthens memory processes, of course. If you pay attention to something, you will remember it more. So if you care, it will remember. Your brain will remember. Focus attention is crucial to encode the memories. Encoding means storing. So the brain filters out the trash information, the toxic information, and strengthens the neural connections of the things that you need to learn, linking new information with existing knowledge. That's why people get more creative. That's why people get more intelligent. That's why people get more skillful, because they already have a batch of information that is there to allow this connection with new information that you are acquiring. And when you make those connections in your memory systems, then you boost your cognitive process and you enhance your memory and you enhance your level of focus attention. So, what can you do to increase all of these things? Use active learning techniques. What is active learning? Make a summary of the things that you are learning. Just take 2 or 3 ideas of the things that you read, or a podcast you listen. Try to pay attention to the important things. If you are walking or doing exercise, of course, it's difficult, but try to remember the key ideas of that podcast, of that audiobook, of that chapter of the book, whatever it is that you are listening. And then this is the last stage, and that's the better. And that's why I also enjoy this kind of interaction with people. Teach. Teach what you have learned. Teach doesn't mean doing what I'm doing now. Teach can mean just talking with a friend or with a family member about the things that you read and about the things that you can know that they will be interested. Of course, choose your people well, because if you choose someone that doesn't really care about what you care, you will be demotivated. So choose well. And that will link new information with the existing knowledge. Use all of those techniques. Limit distractions while you are studying or while you are listening to something that you really want to pay attention, or working to ensure deeper engagement with the material. I think that this is a no-brainer. The more you distract yourself, the less you are going to pay attention and the more reactive your brain is going to be. So allow your brain to really take those rhythm and to really improve your medial prefrontal cortex. All of your prefrontal cortex starts to link visual things, integrate, generalize, make more semantic connections. Semantic means the language, and it will take out the trash because it needs space for the good stuff. It's just like your body. When you are acquiring a new way of eating, when you really care about your health and you start picking your food due to the nurturing things, minerals, molecules, whatever it is, carbohydrates, proteins, and all of those things that they have, the more picky you are, that's what you are doing with your brain. The better you pay attention to the things, the easier you will filter out the trash information, and your brain won't accept that information because you don't have space for things that just take away space from your hardware. And the hippocampus will link the memories, will filter, separate the good memories, and will be more specific, detailed, and it will make more episodic memories, and it will have more time and place for the things that you care about. So This is all the things that you can do to improve your attention, to really master your processing systems, and to engage more with the things that you are learning all the time, because we are all the time learning, if you want, of course. I hope that this information have awakened your senses, have engaged your attention, and if I teach you something good, if I really make you think, you can just help me with the basic things. Just give me a comment, subscribe to the to my channel in either platform that you want, and share this information with more people that you love and you care, and that you know that they are going to be benefited by this kind of information. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a wonderful afternoon. We will listen to each other on our next episode. Bye.